staple part of the Wilson Security Sandown 500 and indeed the Pertec Enduro Cup. It's the East Coast Pull Bars V8 Ute Series. They appear at all 3 rounds. Now I've got Paul Morris joining me for the first race of the weekend. It's their 13th race of the championship. Lucky 13, Paul. The boys are out there warming up the tyres. And let's find out how they'll start. It's going to be Chris Walton, the defending champ, on the front row alongside Kim Jane, who's still got it. Todd Hazelwood, his first ever race meeting in the Utes. And how good is that? He's starting from third. Not bad.
Excellent effort, as you said, first time in the Ute. And just showing what skill he has, transforming that from the Dunlop series into the Utes.
Hey, Andrew Fisher, 200th race in the Utes this one, so ripper effort.
Milestone.
Yeah, from Andrew Fisher, all the way back to Ben Grice, the son of Alan. He and Danny Bazadzik have been sent rear of field in this one for some violations early this weekend. And he also got a $500 wrap across the knuckles for leaving pit lane too early in the red flag, Ben Grice. So he's had a bit of a baptism of fire this weekend.
Yeah, he won't be shouting the beers this afternoon, will he?
And let's hope that he can at least have a clean race and pick himself up from 22nd on the grid. We've got 3 sons of Bathurst winners out there, which is very impressive, including a nephew of a Bathurst winner off the front row. So there's lots to watch out for. And Todd Hazelwood in his first ever appearance. We've got a Bathurst 24-hour winner in Nathan Pretty.
We have.
Also got plenty of onboards. We've got this bloke, Craig Dontis, with the Just Car Insurance Kit and Car Care Products Erebus V8 team, or Erebus V8U team, I should say. And he'll be starting up the front near his teammate Adam Mardrum, who sits second in the points and is starting ahead of our championship leader, Ryle Harris, who starts out of 9th. Lots to talk about. A championship, Paul, that is really starting to heat up. A couple of rookies out there, including this bloke, Lee Nicolo, as well.
The championship fight between Marger and Harris. Those guys are carrying the success ballast. Hasn't seemed to have affected them so much on this circuit here at Sandown as it did on the streets of Townsville. And the big thing to watch out here in this racing today will be the toe up the back straight, punching that headwind.
Yeah, the run down towards Dandenong Road has been frenetic over the years, not just in V8s, but also in the Utes. We've had a Formula 4 off down there this morning, and now we're going to send 23 hot, heavy Utes with full tanks of fuel just about and ready to go. First race of the weekend for the Utes. The green flag is nearly ready. The grandstand, this historic old grandstand, is filling ahead of the 2 race for the grids and the V8 supercars today. Wilson Security Sandown 500 a weekend. We love it, the Enduros, but there's also a mean undercard featuring these guys. The Utes ready for their first race. Walton off pole alongside Kim Jane.
Jane's got the jump. Walton's just sat there.
Hazelwood with a shocker too. Marjoram will get the better of him. He went to the inside to pick that one up. The 2 Matt Stone teammates, Mediki and Harris, line astern towards turn 1, and it's Jane by an absolute mile at turn 1. Pretty goes the outside of Walton. These 2 don't like each other very much. Let's see if they lean on each other at turn 2. Give each other some room, and everyone...
He does give him room. See what happens on the exit.
Way through. Oh, no!
Dontis is going to go round here.
Teammates! Marjoram and Dontis get together. Oh, dear. There's one for Betty Klemenko to sort out. Oops. Marjoram will appear in 4th. Hazelwood back to 5th after getting a poor start. Here's Mr. 200 side by side with Jeremy Gray. Someone's going to have to yield because this is not part of the racetrack where you can go too wide.
No, once you get to the braking area, you better sort it out real quick. So Fisher will have the line here.
Oh, Gray wants to argue around the outside, and that's
Gray
what
will
happens.
just end up wide in the dirt. Nothing he can do.
And he hits Hansford. Hansford is struggling to get that thing pulled up, just like Mediki.
Mediki's in the stones.
Oh, and
Someone's been tipped round.
That started back at the hill. Gray and Hansford are off. And that was because they're all trying to go too wide.
Well, you said it. You better sort it out before you get there, and they didn't.
And that's the result.
Just moved the accident further on down the road.
Fisher came out of all that smelling like roses.
He did.
Up inside the top 10, he
Ryle
started
Harris capitalised on Mediki's mistake as well. They'll settle down here, but Jane's bolted.
I wonder if Hansford's going to get that thing moving. It looked like he had some pretty big damage to the multi-spares Ute down there. He'll need some spares at the end of this one. Turn 1, and it's Cam Wilson inside the top 10.
He's there, and Mediki's made that mistake at Dandenong Road. He's on working the back of Fisher over here, and you can see Ryle. That's where he'll be trying to get to. 3 cars, 3 Utes in front. Ryle Harris. That's his target.
Down the back straight we go. There's Cedars in the orange and black Mango Credit Commodore. He started outside the top 10 after rolling the dice strategy-wise. old tyres in qualifying didn't really pay off for him. And I wonder how Marjorum's feeling. You never want to make contact with your teammate. Not saying it was his fault.
No, it wasn't. He was a bit loose on the curb and nowhere to go. It's just a first corner thing. Just unlucky it was his teammate that finally tipped him round.
The other area of his car is looking good out front. Kim Jane.
He's bolted. Walton's pulled it back about 4/10 of a second over the last lap. We've got a yellow flag here as well, so no passing, and Riles up the inside. He's going defensive on Cam.
Oh, now there's local yellows down there, so you want to be careful.
Yeah, he pulled out of it. Cam will be vulnerable here. He's loose off the curb. Andrew Fisher will get a run on him.
Not overly sure what that was about, the yellow flag. Let's check us all out once again. Marjoram got a cracker and went to the inside of Hazelwood. Kim Jane, beautiful away from the start. But this is good racing between Walton and Pretty through this corner. It was this track 2 years ago where they really had their arguments. A couple guys going off and wide, as we've seen. Watch this from Craig Dontis' point of view. Bang through the gears. Clean as.
Clean as.
At the
got
moment.
the launch. Yeah, see what I reckon he got tapped from behind and someone's finished him off. We'll see what happens here.
So we've got the Auto 1 ute. Now these guys are teammates. Check it out, this is where it happens. We're about 2 corners away from getting spun around in front of about 20 utes. Oh, it's just the smallest of touches.
Yeah, but it was just on the right part of the ute. We're just going to rotate him. So
let's have a look again.
Marjoram probably the offender in that incident.
Oh, man. And how will the officials adjudicate on that one? Here's the big moment. Gray hanging tough on the outside of Fisher.
Yeah, but
Understeers badly.
And he's got dirt all over his tyres here, and then he's vulnerable at the next turn.
Yeah.
Rides a tyre.
Got caught up with Hansford. And they ended up making contact a few times. Here we go. So they hit each other here once. That's at about 150 clicks. Bounce, 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 and here comes the big hit.
Yeah, and Gray should have given him room there. Just come across, took the part of the racetrack where Hansford was. Probably unacceptable behaviour, really.
And there's...
There it is, drives him over the grass, launches him over the curb.
And wham! Now that's big contact. And Hansford, who's expecting to become a dad this weekend, unfortunately, out of the race. Now, we've had another one happen.
Yeah, we've got full course yellow here on the timing screens.
Oh, and it's Cedars. 3rd in the points. Now, what's happened here? They're all coming down towards turn 9. Fisher was pretty loose, and they all just queued up on top of each other.
Hazelwood.
Wow. Man,
we didn't get to see it.
Did he get out? No, he got stuck.
I think he might have.
He's fallen all the way back to 24th.
So he's stuck in the sand trap.
So this is why the safety car's out. How often do we see this? Everyone just standing on top of each other. No one really at fault. They all just pretty much arrived at the same piece of tarmac at the same time.
A bit like a road accident. Someone checks up in front of you and you don't really expect them to, and then their reaction time just has a concertina effect. It takes a couple of thousandths of a second to react to get on the brake and end up getting ploughed.
Oh man, what a shame. Hazelwood in his first ever ute race, after being on top of the timing sheets in that first qualifying session, looking like he was going to be very impressive. Started 3rd, got a bad start, and now he's, as a result, got caught up in the pack, finished up in the gravel, and that is his race pretty much done now. He's dropped off the lead lap.
Yeah, well, pack racing in this environment's pretty rough and tumble. A bit different to what he's used to in the Dunlop series.
There he is, he's back out. Oh, look at the gravel falling out of it too. The other big loser of that was Cedars, 3rd in the championship, and he's dropped all the way back to 22nd. So he's going to hemorrhage some points after winning the last round. And there's Hansford with plenty on his mind. 1, a broken race car, and 2, his girlfriend's due to give birth this weekend. There's a man with a lot on his mind.
Yeah, well, all good things really. Nothing to worry about. You can fix a race car.
So we wish her all the best this weekend, and we'll wait for a bit more news, and that'll be the a 3rd generation from a Bathurst winner, the late great Greg Hansford, who won Bathurst with Larry Perkins. 200th racer right here. Andrew Fisher started back in 2007 for him in the Utes, and he hasn't missed a race since. Picked up 5 race wins along the way, and also a bit of a bent bumper after all that chaos.
One thing to watch here is where McLeod's kept his nose clean, and look where he's come up to. Shocking qualifying, now up to 8th place. So redeemed himself from that shocking qualifier.
He started 16th.
Yeah, so it's past 8 cars, Some of them were hanging out of the fence, but he's passed them.
It counts. And still points in the bank. And remember, the race 2 that we have later today is reverse grid, and we don't know what the number is that they reverse. It's actually drawn out at the end of this race, so you can't go sandbagging and say, oh, it's top 10 reverse. Beauty, I'll just finish 10th. You don't know what the number's going to be. And McLeod in 8th, you'd have to say it'd be somewhere around there, so he's looking
somewhere
pretty good.
around there, but he'll try and move up some more.
Right, Jane, Walton, Pretty, bit of an all-star top 3. Marjoram, second in the points and 4th. And it'll be interesting to see what the officials have to say about that lap 1 skirmish with his teammate. Dontis has recovered to 19th, and this safety car will help him because it's put him behind Nandy Kiss, Richard Morton, Charlie Kovacs. There's a chance that he can drive through the pack here. Lights are out on the safety car. That mirror's not going to be much good for the remainder of this race. There's only 3.5 minutes to go in a time-certain race. So you better make your move. Jane lights it up at the exit at turn 12, and here we go. Restart, number 1.
Mediki's all over the back of McLeod, gives him one. Back there, Ryko Ute now going defensive.
So too is Barbera. And Ben Grice in 11th. We missed that one. He's passed nearly everyone. Yeah,
saw him sneaking away in the background. Had a brilliant first lap. Pegged off about 8 Utes.
Very handy work. Slick goes the high line around McLeod. Leaves himself exposed to Wilson. And that's Grice in behind them. Amazing. He started back in 23rd position, I think it was.
He's hanging it out, standing on it.
Picked off 12 guys. And he was Adzik fighting away with Peter Burnett. And it's a clean restart. Off we go down the back straight. I wonder if the temps will be creeping up for Mediki with that damage to the front. Oh, look at this. Walton, the leader, is under pressure from Chris Walton.
He'll have a little sniff down here at the inside if he's close enough, but he's not. Oh, we've had a...
Oh, my goodness.
Lid come off the deck.
Barbera,
front's hanging out of it.
Massive
That's been a
damage.
big hit. So this will be another safety car, unfortunately.
What on earth happened in the background to Mason Barbera with nothing left on his front end? The tray was sitting up in the air, and
here we go.
Walton's gone past
Jane.
And I thought that was before the safety car boards came out.
So here's the anomaly. The team radio will get the call before the flag comes out.
Oh, no. So Jane slowed down, Walton's passed him, and then the boards have come out.
It can happen. So they'll go standby safety car, and if the team relays the message before the flag comes out, the flag's the determining factor. So you always race till you see the flag. It looks like he just heard it and rolled off.
Play until you hear the whistle.
Yeah, yep. Play to the whistle.
What on earth happened to Mason Barbera down the back straight, riding on board with Lee Nicolau. Now, the 17 is Mason in front of him. Uh-oh.
He's moved across on him.
Uh-oh. Oh.
Yeah, he's got to give racing room at that part of the track. And
wowzers. The front end contact was so big it popped the rear tailgate up. Whoa. And he's only a teenager. Oh my goodness me, look at that.
Yeah, we're not going to go green here. That'll require a bit of work.
Wow. He has hit that in a big way. Man, that's...
Let's see if Walton readdresses this or hangs there.
So, helpers on the scene down there. 17-year-old from North Queensland.
He really didn't do anything wrong. He was entitled to use that bit of road. He was all the way over into the white line. Just got moved over, and then the two wheels have made contact. You run so much negative camber that the tyre hangs out of the guard a little bit. And once they lock, it's a bit like, you know, running an open wheel race car.
I won't be surprised if we get a checkered flag here. It's 5 seconds on the clock, and Walton, oh man, how do we sort this one out? Walton got the lead.
Yeah, I reckon
Jane
he's entitled
moved over.
to be that. Jane rolled out of it, or missed a gear or something, but I'm saying he probably got the call from the team that the safety car boards were going to come out.
And he slowed down. Walton passed him.
Or he's missed a shift, so... But
maybe.
Kim Jane does miss shifts.
Either way, there it is. The most confusing V8 race of the year. There's the damage to Lee Nicolau after the contact with Mason Barbera. And everyone in the commentary box included completely bewildered at what we've just seen. That was
it's
bizarre.
disappointing, but we've got another one this afternoon.
Yeah.
So we'll get down there and see if we can G the boys up a bit and get them to put on a show for us.
Ended up being a 7-lap race out of 12. And this is how they essentially crossed the finish line, but with a huge question mark. Walton was first to it. Jane will argue that the safety car was out when he got past. Pretty's in third. Marjorie might have a case to answer to in fourth as well. Beachy.
That's good.
Great result inside the top five for him.
Yeah, that's awesome for Beachy.
Ryle Harris fought to be sixth. That's important for the championship.
Cloud up to 8th.
Unbelievable.
Gricey 11th. Gricey will push on. He's a pretty Larry driver, Gricey. Just stands on it.
He might even get some luck with a reverse grid pill draw.
That would be good to see Gricey on the front row, so hopefully they get a good draw.
Cedars losing some points a long way back down the order. Mason Barbera with that scary moment on the back straight. That was the end of a very strange first race for the Utes. So Nicolaus pulled up on the left-hand side. There's so much to talk about at the end of that one. And let's unravel what we just saw. Hazelwood kicked it off with a poor start, but left it back in the pack.
Jane got a bolter.
Dontis, meanwhile.
Dontis and Marjorie. This is where it all went wrong for these guys. Little tap on the right. Left rear, turns him round.
It was just about where the Ringwood Mazda sticker is.
Oh, you'll see it here. Tap, tap, bang.
On Marjorie's car.
Gave him one and finished him off with another one, so not a lot you can do in that position.
This is another big moment.
Gray
goes wide, contact with Hansford, and booyah.
Yeah, he just moved Hansford over. He didn't have to do that. Obviously, didn't know he was there.
You know Hansford's busy when he's got the mirrors on.
Oh, he just got him and shouldered out of the road, so.
It was pretty frenetic stuff. This is another big moment. Hazelwood on the grass, puts his boot in it, but unfortunately he was stuck. So too was Cedars.
Yeah, we had to go around Cedars. He was heading back for the track, but then Cedars in front of him had to go for the dirt.
And then there's this moment. Check this out.
Watch it. Moves over on him. Oh. So left front to right rear contact.
You could hear the impact of Barbera hitting the wall through the microphone on Nicolaus' car. That's how big that hit was.
Well, she's a big shunt.
Wow. And that was essentially the end of the race, but we're still a bit bewildered as to who won that one. Is it Walton or is it Jane? Hopefully we'll be able to fill you in a bit later. So it's Chris Killer Walton on top of the timesheets. Thank you to Paul Morris for that one. And qualifying a 20-minute session, which will set the grid for the first of our race for the grids today. It's a bit more of an unusual way in which you try and get your hands on the Armour All pole position today, but there's still plenty to watch here at the Wilson Security Sandown 500.